That's sick,
And
dude. Peel this banana. Peel this
Peel
banana
This Banana.
podcast.
Yes. Welcome to the Peel This Banana podcast. Have you ever seen the
Yes.
movie The Last Dragon? Bruce Leroy,
Last Dragon? Yeah. Oh my
1980s
gosh. Yeah.
movie.
It's been a yep, yep. I'm like, yeah.
So
I'm like,
that
that's a
name is
great
from
classic.
that movie.
I like to learn some kung fu.
Would love to peel this banana.
One, I feel very comfortable talking with you, which I found was a big deal for me as like doing this podcast. So I always enjoy talking with you. And then two, more like dance kind of stuff. I haven't been doing a lot of dance content. You're someone I definitely respect as a dancer, someone who's a working dancer, which is like a whole nother layer and element. And like, that's a whole podcast in itself. It's like what makes a working dancer.
Yeah, right.
So I definitely wanted to talk to you about stuff. And for people that don't know, I'll try and do a quick botched intro as best I can. This is Matthew Guerrero. Sure. He's like one of the first people I met when I moved to Las Vegas. He is a professional dancer in Las Vegas. He's been working for a long while. He's a grinder. He gets gigs. It's like a revolving door. I don't know how he does it. I'm hoping that he can kind of shine light on how he's able to do that, because it's like it's kind of what every dancer wants to do. And like, I know I'm hyping you up a bit, and you're like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, but it really is. It really is, because it's hard to keep getting gigs. It's hard to keep the longevity of working and doing dance stuff, especially in a competitive industry like that. So for people who don't know who Matthew Guerrero is, he's a dance teacher, he's a dance professional. He's a freaking amazing friend, super kind dude. He's one of the best people I've literally ever met. And I've been all around the country. I've moved in different cities. Matt, you're still one of the best people I've ever met in my life. So I'm glad that you're talking.
Thank you. It means a lot, man.
I know, maybe that's a little heavy right at the start.
Oh, thank you. No, for sure. Dude, it's, you know what I mean? That's what it is. It's like that grind, you know what I mean? Of going, you know what I mean? Going and going, you know, because it's like, what else can I do? You know, so that's what it makes, you know, or it boils down to, you know?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
but, where do you want to start at? Where do you want to?
Yeah, well, I guess we'll start at the beginning real quick, because I know this could be an hour long too, is just how did you get started in dance? What caused it? What was the spark there?
Nice. Okay, so I started way like young. My brother was actually my older brother. He's like 8 years older than me and stuff. He's the one that got me into it. We started doing performances for like family events, family functions. I remember my first show pretty much was with my brother for my aunt's wedding, and she really wanted all of her nieces and nephews to perform. So all my LA cousins performed, and then we were the only ones that were just a duo, just me and my brother, and we danced to some Boyz II Men, Motown Philly. That's like my first song I danced to. I wasn't good at picking up choreography, but what it was really good at was I was just good at just following along. I was really good at just like imitating, like, okay, let me just show you. If you showed me the moves, you know, I didn't know anything about counts or anything, didn't know anything, but, you know, so I just followed. And then, we just did a whole bunch of like family events, did like my dad's 50th birthday, and a whole bunch of like family functions around the Bay Area.
I was just about to bring that up. You're originally from San Francisco, Bay Area.
Bay Area. I was born in San Francisco, and then I lived in a little town called Benicia, just east of the Bay. It's right next to Vallejo. If anyone don't know, it's like, you know, where E40 and like Mac Dre from, and like, but like, so basically I lived there my pretty much 26 years and stuff. And that's where I lived up at. And then like my brother got me into dancing, and we were doing a bunch of family functions and stuff. Then I stopped, and then I got back into it, I want to say like in high school when I was like 14. Main reasons that got me into like b-boying was my thing. I was getting down with, and my garage did like a little like linoleum and mirrors, and we'd always have sessions and stuff. So that's when I got really involved. So b-boying, and then I want to say when I got to like dance like choreography like and stuff, I would say like I was done jumping with a dance crew called Fusion, and they were from Vallejo. They I went to high school with them in St. Pat, St. Vincent's, and that's when I got involved with them. So that was when I jumped into like choreography and started when I was like, oh, and started picking up, and I got into like, like I was like, I like being a part of a dance group, But
what year, like around was that? Like how old were you?
That was okay. So that was 90. Yeah, that was 98, 99. So yeah.
Okay.
So I went to St. Pat, St. Vincent's High School. So like if I'm reverting it back. So yeah, I was 13, 14. So b-boying, yeah, I was like 97, 98 was when I got into b-boying, and then got into the hip hop culture and stuff. And then I joined a dance group called Fusion around like 99, 98, 99. And my first performance with them was with this. It was a Filipino cultural night at Napa Community College, and this is funny. The headliners was a group called Kaboom Squad, and basically Kaboom Squad was the face of the Three Musketeers. You have Kevin Brewer, you have Joe LaRoe, and you have Phil Tayag, and they were part of a group called Kaboom Squad from Sacramento, and they were the headliners. And they won a bunch of like competitions. We knew of them because there was a big competition in the Bay Area called Pinnacle, and
I remember,
Pinnacle, like a whole bunch of groups. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like it's like all like the first people that won it was like Mind Tricks. Dance crew wise was Mind Tricks, and down the line you're like, I'll explain the whole history of this and stuff. But like Mind Tricks won it, then Chain Reaction won it, and then Kaboom Squad. I think Kaboom Squad won it. Sorry, it went Mind Tricks, then Kaboom Squad, then like Chain Reaction, and then and like it was basically a talent show. It was kind of like America's Best Dancer before America's Best Dancer came along, but it was just in the Bay Area. It was on like Channel 26. Right. It was a local channel, you know what I mean? Like, and it was an Asian event, but like, yeah, there's a whole bunch like there's like singing competition and stuff in it, but there's like a dance section, and that's why. Yeah, so that's how I got into like the dance. I was like, oh, what is this? I was like, well, like I've never seen,
the dance competition,
like dance crew. I was like, this shit's cool. Like I want to be, be a part of it. So, and then Fusion won. So Fusion won Pinnacle. Like I want to say 97, 98. That was a big deal because it was like, and then I went to school with them. So I was like, very like, oh, can I be and fun fact was the choreographer of the group, or the director of choreographer, was my brother's best friend, Lyle. And he's the one that danced with me when I was younger. So going back to when I was younger, my brother got me to dance, but his best friend was dancing with him. So it was me, my brother's best friend Lyle, and it was my brother. So I knew him later down the line. He's the one that started this group Fusion, and he asked me to be a part of it. I was hella excited. I was like, yeah, I'm hella down. And then my first performance was Napa Community College, where we saw Kaboom Squad, and then I got to see them. And then what's funny was like I thought I was a part of the crew, right? And I was like, oh man, I remember bugging them like during lunch, and like, hey, when's the next performance? Like you guys need, they're like, oh yeah, we'll let you know. And then come to find out, like my Lyle like pulls me aside, and he's like, hey man, sorry dude, like it was just only for that one night. We just need you to fill in, like you're not part of the group. And I was like heartbroken, because I was like, yo dude, I was just like, and it pissed me off, because I was like, wait, what? You just need me just for that? And then what I mean, like I could, what, like I was confused, because I was like, and I gave up like my time, for them, and then I was fucking mad. And so that weird spark like made me think like I wasn't good enough, and so I was like, man, fuck this, and I made my own group. And then what's funny was I found there's ex Fusion members that used to dance for Fusion too, and they got kind of like canned. So we all formed a group so that we could fucking like go like, oh, we have our own group and shit now. So what so we would do performances all around, this group was called, we started off, we called it Synchronics, is what it was. So I started like a group, but it was I started a group out of like like hatred of just like, man, we're gonna take this group.
What was the group called?
It was called Synchronics was the name of the group.
Synchronics.
Yeah. So, but this was and these were again like ex Fusion members. They all danced for Fusion as well, and they got canned, and then they were like, oh man, let's form a group, and then then we just formed a group, and we just did a whole bunch of performances around. We were like performing at SF State and a bunch of events, just like where Fusion, because in the Bay Area there's a lot of like events, especially like Filipino events and stuff, everything like right. We had like Pistahan and like Fiesta Filipina, and like and then there's also like Filipino cultural nights, just like all the colleges, they'll have like my first performance with Fusion, that was a Filipino cultural night at Napa, that Kaboom Squad headline, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So a lot of these events, the big headlines would be big dance groups like Mind Tricks, like Kaboom Squad, B-Side, 69 Degrees, MPM, so these are like pretty major like groups there, they've been doing it for a while, you know what I mean? Like they're the major groups of the 90s. But yeah, we were just kind of just starting. We just wanted to be like that level, you know what I mean? So that's who we looked up to. So anyway, so I guess to explain to everybody, they're probably like, who the hell are all these groups and stuff? So in the Bay Area, we had a lot of like dance groups and stuff. Groups like, so this is a big group. Mind Tricks, so Kaboom Squad and Mind Tricks were like one of the big major ones. There was also we had also Culture Shock. There was Culture Shock there. There was like another group out there called like City Slam. They were another big group. And then there's other groups like Mind Over Matter. Choreographers like Alan Frias, he's a big one. Chain Reaction. Then down the line, they called themselves New Origin, but they were a big group. Where else were there? We had there was like New Style Motherload was out there. They were in the 90s. B-Side was another big group, like dance crew wise.
Wow, so pretty big dance community.
Big dance community in the Bay Area. So it's like, and you know what I mean, and it's all walks, you know what I mean, like, and there's all different sides. Oh, there's Loose Change. This group was really dope. Very unique because they would mix hip hop, but they also did swing or like Lindy Hop. They did Lindy Hop and stuff.
Oh wow, okay.
And sometimes they would do a lot of like stuff like with like, because the rave scene was big, so they mixed in stuff like that. It was a fusion of things. It's pretty trippy. Everyone had their own, unique, styles and stuff. There's other groups, but I can name every single like group in the Bay. Kamai.
So you kind of got like obsessed with this dance world.
I got obsessed with
all the names, all the teams, what's going on, where the events were.
Like who's the who, you know what I mean? Like and so after high school and after my dance group Synchronics, like we performed for a little bit, like I graduated high school and like our Synchronics group kind of like died out a little bit, but everybody kind of split their own ways. But when I went to college, that was when I got really into like a lot of like other dances, like because I had to be like a full-time student, so I was really bad at like registering for my classes in time. So especially the general classes, like you're supposed to take like your generals, your math, your science, or, so you know what I mean, like
writing,
and you gotta have those, and those are like full loads, like so they go by like it's like a point system. So like if it's like math, for instance, like 4 points. And to be a full-time student, you have to have like at least credits. I'm sorry, credits. There you go. So you have to have at least 12 credits and over to be a full-time student. And I had to be on my mom's health insurance. So like I had to at least have 12 units. She wanted me to be a full-time. So I was like, okay. And I ended up, so I registered late for those general classes because they fill up so quick. So I ended up taking a lot of like elective classes, and elective classes can be anything from like dance classes, music, and those are only like 1 credit, maybe 1.5.
Yeah. So let's see.
There's some that maybe were 2. So when they built it up with a shit ton of elective classes, which were like, I was supposed to take like jazz, modern, tap, ballroom. I was learning swing.
You loaded up on dance like this.
I loaded up on dancing, because I was like, and maybe a few general. Like, okay, I took like sociology, and then I took like math and science. You know what I mean, like speech.
You feel them in there,
feel them out, But
so you're like every day dancing and learning these things.
Yes. It was just, and I was like, let me just try it, because it was just out of my box, and it helped me. And to be honest, like I'm glad I did take those, because it helped me a lot, like with kind of switching up styles. If you just stick to like one style, you can't be like versatile. So it helped me with my versatility for sure. Because I was just like a b-boy, like hip hop dancer and stuff, everything, and I was still trying to like learn and stuff, So that was when I went to college. I went to like DVC, and then that was taking all those elective flow courses, and then I joined I saw an audition for a dance company. It's called Hip Hop Company. I was like, I never heard this company before, but it was called Soul Force Dance Company, and the director of the company, her name is every year in the Bay Area. It's pretty well known. It's called SF Hip Hop Dance Fest, and they're shoot, I think they're like on their 22nd or 23rd year, like as having this festival, and it's cool. It's at the Palace of Fine Arts, beautiful theater, sort of next to it's nearby like Golden Gate and stuff. It's a nice area. If y'all ever check it out. But yeah, SF Hip Hop Dance Fest, and I joined the company just to be like, okay, I want to be a part of this because it's a professional company. Like apparently, they perform, of course, at SF Hip Hop Dance Fest, and she produces another show called Mission in the Mix, and so we perform for those things, and it was like some money, but it's like how dance companies are, like you get paid, we'll get gigs and stuff and everything. So I was like, okay, I wanted to just give it a try. So I joined Soul Force, I made it in, and that's when I got really into like that opened me up to knowing a shit ton of like dancers and stuff. That's where I met like well-known people, like if you ever like a crew called Mop Top, they're from New York, like people like Buddha Stretch and like and like Khalif and she would hire them to perform out there, and like meeting them, they're OGs of like hip hop.
Wow, that's
they're dope. So Mop Top Crew, they perform. There's people like Twitch performed I think one year with and I was when I saw Hawk, like Hawk was there. So I knew Hawk before other things, but the people like Crazy Cujo had a dance company. I got to meet a few people. Like that's what he was a part of with that company, and a shit ton of other people all around the world. Like
so that company kind of connected you with a lot of other
and these are
big
real, like,
dancers.
OG, big dancers,
Yeah,
like,
big
OGs of
dancers from around the country.
and originals that like created the dance,
Yep.
and like people.
Some of the pioneers there.
Pioneers, like I remember Fable came and did a lecture and stuff, and like about like the where hip hop originated from, and it's just it was cool, like and there was these workshops and like bringing in talking about the hip hop culture and like how it started, how right. And
So you're getting
that's how it was. Like knowledge on top.
Wow, that's a pretty dang good company then for whoever's running it to make sure you guys are getting that education of the history and where all this comes from, alongside learning all the skills and performing and all that. I mean, that's kind of a rare thing, I feel like.
And that's what's super dope was like, and I'm glad she had that because it opened me up to meeting all these like nasty performers and dancers from all around pretty much the world. Like there's some Kenichi was one of the headliners. Kenichi Avina, won AGT. We had he did one of his numbers that he won AGT.
Oh wow! Okay.
In SF Hip Hop Dance Fest, and he got like a standing up. So that's where he showed his and then
I remember now. I remember now. Wow, that's so old. This is like 10 This is so long ago.
So it's an old school, bro. Like this was like fucking 2000, 2003, 2004 was when.
This is old. This is so.
Crazy, right?
Yeah,
so
it's nuts.
That's how I got to meet, and that's what I tell that's kind of what helped me, sort of get in the getting to know all these people, and then them knowing me. I would always jump into ciphers and circles with the people. We have an open cypher, I just go out. But it's all about socializing and going to these events and actually networking. It was networking basically, and getting to know these people and talking with them and having a conversation and really getting to know their world. Like, oh shoot, okay, is this what it was? What's it like? Because especially with other dancers, they come from different walks of different cities, and so each city, everybody has there's different cultures, there's different, and music that they listen on, there's different
music styles, everything.
Styles, So everyone, when I say that's why I kind of have that bass swag, because it's that's what we were kind of all grew up on. We all are a part of that movement, and so it's interesting to just kind of see where everybody was and is, and and so. So after that, and I was dancing with them for a few years, and I have my own dance crew. Also, I met back with Lyle again, the one that told me about fusion.
Your best friends.
So we became friends again, and then he was like, "Do you want to start a group together?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So there's my own little side group that we did, and then because he had a bunch of gigs, and they weren't getting these are gigs that we just did for fun. This was mostly we started this group because we I just want to hang out with like-minded people that love to dance and and we just
create your own thing, your own movement.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because we were seeing we tried to be different, and so the group was called Chaotic Groovements, or KGZ for short, and we would do we do a bunch of events around a lot of Filipino events, a lot of either family functions or they'd be dance competitions. Battle Fest was one big competition.
I remember Battle Fest.
Yeah, but it's so funny because there's another Battle Fest that came down the line. You've been seeing it lately online, but it's straight battle. It's one-on-one all style battles and stuff. It's interesting, but this was another Battle Fest that was just more dance competitions, and sometimes we'll have battles, but mostly with just dance groups.
Yeah, the dance groups.
But we started on group KGZ, and with our group we liked a lot of because we noticed everybody was doing a lot of mainstream hip hop, and during the time I was super I liked the hip hop that they played, you know what I mean? Because in the 2000s, they were good, I appreciate it. I just was it was too mainstream. And for me, I don't know why I was into underground, hip hop, real lyricists, people Lyrics Born and Gift of Gab, Latif, the True Speaker, you know what I mean? All these, nobody doesn't know, but they're
right. When the music comes on with the dance team, those songs you're not gonna really hear. No one's using that stuff.
And no one's using it. And a lot of times, you notice okay, groups will do the popular song because it's on the radio, it's popular. I get it, but for us, we like to kind of really go we really search for songs that nobody heard of, ooh, what is this, and
pull something
so that's
new
what
out.
So we were always trying to do that, and we would remix a lot of old school songs. I remember we remixed we did Stand By Me, like that.
Yep,
and we remixed it to like, like these new school, like we'll do it with an NERD beat. We like, and we started off with a doom, doom, and there was an NERD beat that we actually like mixed it in. Lyle was the mastermind to that. He was good at remixing like songs and stuff, and it was cool. It was like that's what we were kind of like known for and stuff. We would bring back a lot of old school stuff and
tweak it in a new
underground
kind of
stuff
way.
and tweak it. Yeah, you know what I mean. And
yeah.
and then like so we would do a lot of performances, like around town, and we got pretty well known when we performed for SF Hip Hop Dance Fest. I did a piece to the movie. Remember Seven? You've seen like with Brad Pitt and Morgan
Oh
Freeman.
yeah, I was like, like the horror movie?
The horror, like like it was a trip. Like we one of our dancers, Lindsay Marshall, she was like, we should do like a concept, a theme to like the Seven Deadly Sins, and I was like, ooh, have y'all seen the movie Seven? And then
Have you
like
seen Seven? Yeah.
And then and so we watched the movie together, and then what I did was I took sound bites from the movie, and then like the songs would all represent each like greed.
Each
so it's all the same,
sloth. Yeah,
and then
that's pretty
and
cool.
then we close it off with like Kevin Spacey's like line about like, oh, it was a trip. Yeah, you'll see it online if you ever like think it, but it talks about how like it's always going to be around 70, blah, 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 and then we close it off with that song, Apologize by Too Late to Apologize. That one. Yeah, or whatever that song. But anyway, that was one number that we like, everyone kind of like knew us, a bit, and we
kind of like stuck
we got to perform
in the community, that group that did that piece.
That was like one of our repertoire pieces. Yeah, it was cool. And then that was the last time I performed with them. That was when I moved to Las Vegas. So that was 2007. And then I've been in here in Vegas, you know what I mean?
How did you decide? Why Vegas? How did that go about? Like, how did that transition from San Francisco, dancing everywhere?
That's a great question. Like, so like my mom has family out here. Like her brother, she has two brothers that live out here. My uncle Louis, and then my uncle Ronnie. And my uncle Ronnie was living at a place up in like north. So it's either heard like Centennial Hills, it's northwest of the Strip. So it's like 30 minutes like northwest. And so he kind of convinced her like, hey, the housing market here is low. Like you should get a house, you know what I mean? And then like, and like get a house, and then of course it equity builds, and then you can set, you know what I mean? So she comes to get a house, and then like to get a house and then like rent it out. And she kind of convinced me to be like, well, since I'm getting a house over there, do you want to go to like Vegas? Do you want to go to UNLV and, like study out there? And during the time, like she was trying to get me to like, she kind of get me to go into like nursing, because we are Filipino or anything.
I didn't want to say it, but I was gonna say nursing.
It's like medical, anything medical field, because they.
So your mom was a nurse.
My mom's a nurse and stuff. She was an emergency room nurse for, man, she did it for a little over like 40 years or something. Yeah, at least, like she's been there for a minute. 30, 40 years. And so she tried to get me into like nurse. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I was just doing it just to get like my credits out of my like the get your general out of the way, and then you can but so I was gonna transfer my units over here, and I was like, okay, I'll move out here and I'm gonna stay in the house, and she's like, just stay in the house. So when she bought the house, that's what made me kind of move out here. And I was like, let me just give it a try. I just needed like a new change. To be honest, I didn't really want to leave because I kind of liked where I was at, in the Bay, but but then also too, she kind of convinced me like there is entertainment out there, and like there wasn't really. I mean, I did do a bunch of gigs, really fun gigs out in that stuff, but there's nothing really like much when it comes to like dancing or
dance
gigs,
it
was either you go to LA, you know what I mean, or I mean, Vegas has all the shows.
Vegas
so it's
has
like
the
Vegas
shows,
or LA. Yeah.
LA.
So
maybe New York, but
reason,
even that's like.
Yeah. And what was funny was like people was like, how come you didn't go just straight to LA? Like, to be honest, I was like, I felt like I wasn't like good enough to be in LA yet. You know
I
what I mean?
did
Like,
the same thing, man. Same thing for
so
me.
I was
Same
like,
reason,
let me test my stuff out with Vegas, you know, and
Yep.
like I don't know. I just wanted to just kind of just like, it was like my little baby steps. Like, let me, you know,
Totally.
I didn't fully dive.
Cheaper
you know?
place to live, a little more manageable. The shows are really cool though, and still like
exactly.
a legit professional job.
Yeah. And that was the big one too, because I was like, oh man, they got Cirque du Soleil. And I'm like, you know, oh, maybe I can, you know, and that's really for sure what kind of was the full push. Like, okay, they got shows out here like Cirque, and like that's the biggest one I really wanted to be a part of anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
so yeah. So that what's made me kind of like, you know, move out here. So
how did you make that decision? Because that's a big. Did you move out alone by yourself?
Yeah, what was funny was I actually was supposed to move out with someone I was seeing. You know, it was one of my my girlfriend at the time, and she was down. Like we like when we all kind of came together to go look at the house. She was there with me. She was like, "Oh my gosh, this is awesome!" You know, and she was gonna make the move with me. So that's what was gonna make it like comfortable. I was like, okay, I'm not going by myself.
Right. You got someone coming with you.
Yeah, but. Bad news was maybe the day of we're moving, you know, like I moved my stuff in and everything, and like you know, my girl was trying to call me, and so like she was like, well, I really need to talk to you. I was like, okay, what's up? All right, let me, you know, I was going to her house. I'm going to your house anyway to get your things, so that, you know. So when we came there, she had to talk with me, and she was like, I can't do it, I can't make the move. I was like, wait, what? You know, like, how come? You know, like it was like, yeah. So it was like she completely was like, I can't do it. I can't leave my house. You know, like it was just like, and I'm like, how come you didn't tell me this, like, you know, before, you know?
Yeah, right.
And
this
so
is like soap opera stuff, like the day of, you're literally about to move down.
You're like, you know, it was like, okay, you know. And so, you know, when I first moved here, it was like it was January of like 2007, and like coming here, I was just like, I'm all driving like all fucking like, you know, but like I came here, my brother came along luckily, so that helped. Like, but
okay, that's cool.
You know, because he helped me move, so that you know. But I was just like, I was all fucking depressed. I was depressed for the first I was depressed for the first 3 months moving here, and I was like,
hard enough already.
I was just I was just staying in the house. The only thing I would go out for was just to go out and get food and maybe like grab movies and shit, like because there was like a time. You know, yeah. And then it was funny was I was like, all right, let me move. And then what's funny was I moved back for a little bit just because I was like, let me go back. And you know, like my mom was like, I know you're depressed out there, so why don't you come back for a little bit?
Yeah, that's tough.
And so
that's
I came
a tough
out.
Transition.
Yeah, and then I was like maybe out in the Bay Area again for maybe another 3 months, and I was dancing with my group again. We did a few performances, and then there was actually a competition out here in Vegas that they wanted to all go to, and I'm like, oh, okay. And so we made the plan of like, yo, let's if anyone needs to stay at my place, you could stay at my place. And then we did the competition, and then that was when I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay. And then that's when I stayed, and I completely was like, all right, I'm gonna get fully indulged. So yeah, and
so you did the competition.
I picked myself up. Yeah.
Like, were you thinking about it during the competition? Like, oh, maybe I should just stay here. Like, what was there something there that like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna make the decision.
When we got done with it, like what it was like going out with my crewmates, my friends. We went and checked out the strip, you know what I mean, and going out and actually experiencing it, Vegas, you know, like made you go like, I was like, okay, I'm like, okay, this is fun, like, you know, I mean, this is a nice area, you know, a place to like live at. And so, and then, you know, like, and they kind of convinced me to just be like, you know, just give it a try, you know, and like, you know, what's the worst, you know, that could happen, you know. So that also, you know, like kind of helped out. So yeah, it was like, you know, like once they left to go back home, like I was like, okay, I guess I'm staying, you know, here. And, you know, and then I just made the decision. I was like, let me just give this a try. And if it doesn't work out, you know, I'm going to see what I could do, you know, like try for these shows. And then, yeah, that's what, you know, made me, I'm just going to go and get a job, get my, you know, work in I used to work at Applebee's in the Bay Area, and I was like, oh, let me go see if I can work in Applebee's here and stuff. And, you know, I was working that and
like a transition.
Yeah. And then like what helped was like I got to kind of know the dance group scene out here. So I got in touch. That was when I got in touch with like the first person I got in touch out here was his name is Anthony Cardona. He was part of Culture Shock.
I know of him.
Yeah. And so he was the one that was like, he kind of pointed me to, oh, take class from this girl, take that from this person, you know, like, and one big class was definitely like, go take Missy Cochran's class. And Missy Cochran is pretty well known out here. She does a lot of like gigs and everything. And so I was like, okay, I'll go take class. And that's when when I took her class, she liked me, and she was like, hey, I'm doing this show called Golden Rainbow, and it's with, and Golden Rainbow is with like all the industry, everybody who's in the shows, like it's a benefit to like raise money to help fight against fight against AIDS and the AIDS epidemic. It was started out in the 90s, and then now but it's a benefit. And that was when I got to meet all the performers, so that helped, that kind of
got you right into the community pretty quickly.
The community, in the industry community, like all the
industry community, because there's a lot of different like niches in Vegas.
There's different, because like when I got in the dance community, that was when I got in touch with his name's Christian Paquin. He kind of like pointed me to go to like, hey, go check out Mecca Me. Was a group that was really well known out here. So I was like, okay, yeah, let me go check them out. And I auditioned for them, and like, I started dancing with them. So then I got to know like the dance community, and it was kind of like, it was still
how quickly was this? Because
it was literally within a few months. You know what I mean? Like,
so this happened pretty quickly. Yep.
It was quick. Yeah. And
that's cool.
Because I was like, let me just check out. Let me take some classes, and it was all about taking classes and just kind of like talking to people and hanging out. Like I was like, hanging out afterwards and just like, hey, like
showing up.
What do you guys do? Just showing up. That's what it is, and literally, again, networking and like seeing what going to events. Like there was there was a bunch of like, what b-boy events that was out here too, because there was also a big b-boy scene. I would go to see them, and so
Mecca Me, you went and you got them like first shot, like you just auditioned, boom, got in.
Pretty much, because like
nice.
I was mostly just like kind of taking classes and stuff, and then how the fuck did I get in? Oh, because I think Jay. So his name is Jay De Jesus. He was the captain of the team, and then during the time, Ellis was the director. I didn't get to know Ellis, but I knew Jay, and Jay was the one that brought me in. It was random because like I was going back and forth from Vegas to LA sometime, and I was flying back from the Bay, and Jay was on the same flight because he was actually seeing someone, a dancer that I know of too. Like she was a director of a dance group in San Jose, and I was like, oh shit! And they was like, what are you doing out here? I was like,
so just randomly that you're on the same plane.
Then, and he was like, yo, why don't you come in for a rehearsal and stuff? And I was like, sure, like let me.
How crazy of a meet is that?
Stuck. Yeah, it's a trip, dude. So
that's so
it's
random.
So weird how that happened. Yeah, and then I started dancing with Mecca Me and just like just being a part of the group.
Yeah,
and then
I used to watch Mecca Me on YouTube.
Yeah, did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your point there? We had a bunch. We actually
the one that stucks in my mind, the one that I like remembered it hit like the colors one. Were you on that?
Yeah,
team?
the color. Yep, that was I was in the yellow. I did yellow.
I think okay. Yeah. So for people that don't know, like I started dancing, I think 2008. Around 2008. At that time, there was something like collegiate dance. Groups was like I was obsessively watching these groups like dance performances on YouTube.
Yeah, and this was YouTube. Yeah, YouTube just kind of came out, and so
YouTube just kind of came out, and there was like Vibe, Body Rock, Prelude, Pinnacle. I watched the old videos of Pinnacle, Battle Fest, like you said. Like I would scour everything, and I remember watching Mecca Me. And the colors one, I loved that routine for some reason. I thought it was so clever, and no one was doing routines like that, really.
No, that's what was. It was a great ass idea. It was, I think Ellis was the one that kind of came up with it with his brother, like EJ, and it was fucking sick. And I was like, and we were on stage the whole time. A lot of times, like a lot of groups, they switch in and out. We were on stage because we had
that's right. You guys were on stage the whole time.
And our formations, because Ellis and Jay, they're in the army, so they were like, they loved like formations and stuff. So it's like so they really think this down to like a sign, like, okay, we're gonna have these people, like with us with different colors, and like it's a trip how they kind of did it.
Dude, okay, so I gotta show you because I have it pulled up because I remember this. Hold on, I'm gonna do this real quick. This is funny. Share screen. Okay, can you see my computer?
Shit. Yeah.
Okay, this is it right here. Can you see this? Is that you right there in the middle?
That's yep. Oh my God, that's me, dude. Oh my God, yep, in the yellow. Oh my God, yep.
It's like,
oh, that's dude, 2009. Look at that. Yep, that body rock. Oh my goodness, look at this. Ooh, that yellow. Yeah, that it was.
And that's
it was
you right
Yellow
there.
by Coldplay. Yep, that's me. Yep. Woo, man, let's go. Yeah, everybody loved that piece. Like, you know what I mean? It was because again, it was a clever concept. Like, who, you know,
Dude, it was
we
super
started
cool.
off,
Like,
you know, yeah. I was like,
I
man,
remember, how do I get back? Okay, stop share.
there
I
it is.
remember when you got the, was it Blueberry Yum Yum, the Ludacris song,
Yes,
I think?
that shit was sick. Yeah, that was
And then
that was
when
a
they
dope
did the
piece, man.
roll, like, I don't know, it
that
was
roll
something
off
so
of,
simple. And like, you
yeah.
watch it now, you're
Well,
like, but at
yeah.
that time, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's what got me stuck with Mecca. Because like when I saw them. Yeah, so there was Battle Fest Las Vegas out here, and they did that was when they brought out songs. Like Ellis had some bangers, man. But that's when I first heard about like the Cool Kids. You know what I mean? Like, and they did a
Yeah,
song for like
I
Gold in the
immediately went
Pager.
and downloaded
Woo,
that because that was the song you
that
guys
song.
finished with, I think.
They did, yeah. Well, or no. The other one. Oh God, I think it is called Colors, but yeah, and they just
Colors,
talk
yeah.
about giving colors, kicks. Oh man, I'm trying to
different
think of
colors. Adidas.
that was a
kicks,
yeah.
Adidas.
But Mekami was known for those roll offs, those ripples. I'm like, that shit's sick. Like, and I was like, I just love the way that they just utilize, you know, all of that, you know, and
I want to
smart,
point
you know,
out,
it's
by
a
the
dope
way,
group, man. Yeah.
watching you in that video, like, you know, my eyes kind of, it can
Mm-hmm.
kind of, you get used to watching so many groups, your eyes just notice different things. Dude,
Yeah.
you're really clean and sharp in comparison to the rest of the groups.
Yeah.
Members in that group, like even at that time, however, and that's what that was 2009.
2009.
Dude, you still have a really sharp and clean look that stands out even
What's
amongst
funny
like
though,
your
you know
peers.
what's funny is that like I didn't even think I was even that clean yet. You know what I mean? Again, I was still trying to like build my, you know, like my repertoire.
Yeah, cleanliness.
And, like, I didn't know, yeah, you know what I mean? But it was just because like again, like they were good at like Ellis and Jay was like good at like drilling, like having those like things as clean, you know what I mean? And like, okay, you know, and I was still like again learning and trying to retain like, okay, like and learn about my body more, you know, and that type of style of dance, like it was like, okay, that's how it got me, you know, to be where I'm at. So I'm glad I, you know, was a part of that. But yeah, like dude, that was, you know, all to them, you know, like for like, shout out to like Ellis and Jay for that, you know, like keeping it clean and, you know, like trying to, you know, be us as like one unit type thing, you know. It's like so but yeah,
dude, that's a trip,
again,
man.
And what's
yeah,
because
I was like in Connecticut watching that video, and here it is. You're on that video. I'm watching it.
Yeah,
like, wow, look at this. This is so cool. And then later, here I am meeting you and talking. Like, it's just crazy how that works.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Like, you know, and it's I look back at that dance. Like, I was like, man, that was dope. I'm my harshest. I'm my most harshest critic. So I'm always like, oh,
dude, you were clean.
This, you know,
you were good right there,
so,
and you can tell like there's, you know, you can see the like camera wise, you can see the sharpness. I was like, whoa, holy crap! You know, watching it again, I was like, wow, man, you're like clean even back then. And I always thought you're clean now, and you were like, it's just weird seeing the progression. It's like something that's over 10 years old. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you should see my stuff, like, you know, with that 7 Deadly Sins piece. Like, oh man, my choreography
is that on YouTube?
So that's on YouTube. Yeah, look it up. It's like like SF Hip Hop Dance Fest, like and look up 7, and 7 is spelled VII, and it's Chaotic Groovements, or KGZ VII. SF Hip Hop Dance Fest, kind of like looking that up. Yeah. So
it's gonna be hard to find. I'm gonna try and find it. I'm like 7 dance.
But you can probably look it up. It's probably on my videos. It's probably on my page if you want to go on my YouTube. So, but it's on like the very bottom. It's probably one of the first like uploads. Yeah, 7 Deadly Sins.
I have Soul Force Dance Company, Chaotic. Oh, 7.
Chaotic
KGZ, Chaotic
KGZ. Yep,
Groovements.
there it is. VII. Yeah, 7. Yep, it's a Roman numeral 7. Yeah.
That's so funny. Here, I'll share the screen again. Yeah, so Chaotic Groovements.
Look how old that is. Oh my God. Look at that.
Oh man, look at this.
Dude, with Mitch and everybody. Yep, there you go.
Wow, it's a potato quality. Old.
Yo, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are pretty clean.
Yeah, this is Oh my goodness.
Wow, and it's such that it's that bass style too. It's so funny looking back.
Yeah, man. Well, what's funny that style got brought. You know what's so funny? I don't know. Like I was noticing the progression of like the styles. Like so with like Mind Tricks, Kaboom Squad, and like MPM, Mind Over Matter. They were all like. If I could, I would love to try to like bring like videos because I have VHS tapes. I just don't know how to transfer them onto
How to
like
like rip them.
you know, computer. Yeah. So if you see the styles, it was very fast, like da, 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 da. Like it's like, you know, almost kind of like cheerleading ish, but not, you know what I mean? But it's just because it's just very clean, you know, and it was maybe a mixture of like locking with a little pop. Like Mind Tricks was probably they were more so more in the hip hop. Like they got locking, they got popping, and they got b-boying in it. Kaboom Squad, they did a lot of dance, but they were known for their flips and tricks and stuff. Yeah. So Kevin Brewer used to do like, you know, like you ever heard of like an Arabian, which is like a backflip to, yeah, he used to do that. Like Joel Leroy used to do butterfly twists. Like even Phil Tayag had like some tricks and stuff too. So like, you know, they used to break. So they would mix in a lot of stuff too. And then like, you had people like Mind Over Matter, which is very like the style of dance was like very Janet Jackson. Like I would say that, you know, like jazz funk type style.
Yep. Industry.
Let's see, like
or at that time.
Industry,
style.
yeah, type. You know, and same with Culture Shock kind of had, because Culture Shock was kind of around that, you know, realm too. But they were like mostly San Diego, especially with San Diego. They were more so they definitely want to like contribute. Like, yo, we need popping, we need locking, we need b-boying, and then they dealt with like other branches. Like this is industry dance. This is, you know, so. With Culture Shock, but when Culture Shock went from San Francisco to Oakland, it sort of changed because Oakland started having like their vibe. And then this is also when like the hyphy scene was coming in. So that got brought in, you know what I mean? And there was like, everybody started, you know, there's that certain type of like that movement, that bay, like is, you know, that's, you know, like, so that started coming in there. But what's funny was that type of style that we were doing, like, to be honest, we got like, it was weird. Sean Evaristo was the one that brought that in. Like we were like, damn, that's just like mad clean. Like it looks good. Like it was sick, you know, and especially with format, like, you know, like the movement isn't like dancey where it's like you're hella dancing, but it's like controlled and like, oh, it's like chill and it's cool. Like it was like, ooh,
yeah,
I
it's
like
cool.
that.
It's like a flow to it that's like
Uh-huh.
smooth. It's like
You're
a
like,
silk kind of thing.
ooh, that's nice.
Yep.
Like Sean brought that to the Bay, because even his style, when you see like Sean's style, like Gen 2, and one like body rock and stuff and everything, and like it was, you know, he did a lot of stuff, like he did a lot of stuff to NSYNC and Britney, you know, and stuff, and like because his, you know, like his group consisted of like little kids. He had a little kid, like Jocelyn was this like young, and he had little kids, and then it goes all the way up to, so it's a full age range of like kids and stuff, you know.
Right. Yep.
But the style was like, you know, it was dope. It was Sean's style. But then it was weird. He went to LA, and also when he came back from LA, it was like his style everybody started like, I was like, oh damn, like we all like hopped on it. We're like, this shit's nice, you know, like
train, yeah, right.
Yeah. So we hopped on that train, and that smooth train, and you know, so it's a trip, man. And then and then the company, you know, which before that was Explosion, the Pat style, like always like just nasty and just clean. And then the company, you know, look at them, like, so yeah, it was interesting, you know, to see the progression of like, oh shoot, you know, seeing how dance was, and then, you know, and then became this type of, you know, vibe.
Yeah, right. Just the changes in styles and what influences it, for sure.
Yeah.
So you're in Vegas, you're in Mecca. How did you handle,
going back there.
I assume the pressure from your mom going into nursing didn't necessarily stop, or did it stop? Like, how did you handle that while also doing like, well, I love dance, I want to pursue dance. How did you balance that?
It's funny. It's like I kind of like sneakily like just implemented it, because I just ended up that just ended my schooling. I was like, I'm just gonna work, and then I'm just gonna work and then do auditions, and like
right.
Like I auditioned. That was when I auditioned for Cirque, you know what I mean? And you know, I made it. But what's funny was when you make it into Cirque, you're actually making it onto a list. You're not getting a show.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
So I went to the big, you know, and that was around, I want to say 2009, 2000. Yeah, it was 2009. That was when I auditioned.
And you auditioned for Cirque in general, or was it for a specific show, or was it like the general one?
So the show that I really wanted, like really badly, and that was the show like I was like that I actually booked, which was good. But it was called The Beatles Love, and it was at the Mirage.
Beatles Love.
So so that was the show I really wanted to get into the audition. Oh, because they had street dancers in there. There was like people that was locking, and there was people that was popping, there was B-boys, and I was like, this is my, because
it was like one of the first ones where they had dancers
where they implemented street dance in it. I was like, nice, so that was the one I was like, I got to be in this show, and I auditioned for that, and dude, it took me 3 years to get into that show. But you just got to audition each year to show face, you know what I mean? And just
so every time that there was an opportunity, you kind of showed up to do the audition and like tried to push in every time.
And even though even though I made it into the database and my name's already in the system, and it's just good to just show up, because sometimes the people forget you, and so you gotta kind of
you're just showing your face.
But I was already on the database, and but the casting director was always like, I'm definitely gonna get you in. But it was around 2012 was when they gave me a call, and that was when so I got a call for a private audition with them. Maybe it was in the beginning of the year, and then they were like, I felt good about it, right? And then they called me, and the casting director was like, oh man, so they went with the other guy that you auditioned with, but he was like, I promise you, I'll get you, and then that kind of broke my heart a little bit. And then I also auditioned for Jabberwockies also too that year, and I didn't get it.
Dude,
and then
me
there was
too.
another audition. There was a hair show audition at Nappy Tabs. Yeah. And I auditioned, and then like they said they loved me, but then they needed a specific to grow my hair, and then that was when that's what broke me. I was like, mother. So I was like, dude,
it's like a triple no.
If I don't, triple no. And then like finally I got another callback audition to audition for Love Again, and I like swore to myself, I'm like, yo, if I don't get Love, like I was like, I'm gonna quit. Like I'm gonna quit dancing, and I'm gonna just find something else because it's the thing. And then after that second audition callback, that was when I booked Love, and then that's and I was from then on. I was just like straight industry.
And
I stopped working at hospitality, and I was like straight dancing. Yeah, and
straight
I was,
dancing.
Given my full career. Yep.
So that period of time, like the Nappy Tabs edition, the Jabberwockies edition, the private audition, to getting the second callback, and how quickly did that happen? Like time span?
That was within. I swear to you, that was within 3 months. It was like 3 months.
Wow. Yeah. So that's like bam. Like, wow, that's a lot to take in.
And during that time, I was also like going from like my union card, because I was working for a bar called Centrifuge, and it was a bar that was like dancers and like you work hospitality, so it was a great gig. I loved it, great money, but it wasn't something I wanted. I was like, I wanted to be a part of a show, like I wanted to be,
the performance on the stage.
And like I was going to school for it, and I remember I was talking with a friend, like this was like on our break and stuff, and then like I was talking with him, like I was like breaking down, like, man, I fucking don't get this audition, like I remember like like they didn't hire me because of this and the thing,
like, dude, I feel that too, man, because I get really rejected. I'd go to some auditions, New York. When I lived in Connecticut, I'd go to some in New York, did some auditions in Vegas. And it was always the same thing. My body type was like, there was no character in the actual casting that like, you're not going to, 125-pound dude isn't going to be, you know what I mean? So how did you so like, and then you had your own version of that, like, okay, you don't have the long hair, or you didn't have the certain requirements that the character needed, or whatever. How did you keep going to audition after audition, no after no? This didn't quite work out, or you get this one, but then it doesn't last that long. So then you're back to square one. You got to get another gig. How have you like keep getting back up to kind of do that?
Yeah. Oh. I have to go deep right here. Hold on. I guess it was just like it was a weird, just sort of like, all right, it was like a brush off, and like, all right, let me just brush myself off and then just keep moving forward and stuff, like type of thing. So like I think I just told myself like, all right, I think I'm gonna get it on this next one. I guess gotta just go and just do it. You know what I mean? Because if I just stopped, that, you know what I mean, I know I would regret it. You know what I mean? And if, you know, like if I didn't go to this audition, like I would be mad at myself and stuff that I, you know, didn't, you know, like things. So I was, it was just mostly, you know, like literally just pushing forward what it was and stuff. And I just had to just keep the momentum, you know, going. Yeah.
Kind of have some faith that.
Yeah. Kind of got to have some faith. It was, you know, I mean, that it will work out. There were some people like at the time that definitely like helped me, you know, during the time. She helped me like push through, like, you know, like, you'll be good, you know, like you have a support system, you know what I mean? Like whoever it is. And they, you know, like that just to, you know, like if it wasn't for them, to be honest, like they were the ones that kind of like just keep going at it. My mentor Makai, I think, also helped me a little bit. I remember talking with her and just like was like, just, you know, and a lot of them, again, they always say the same thing. Makai, so she's the one that was the director and the choreographer for Soul Force Dance Company, and also the director of SF Hip Hop Dance. So she was like my sort of like dance mom type thing, you know what I mean?
That's
you know,
cool.
I was always
with her
all the time. So it's like,
that's awesome.
Yeah. She's
so good support,
you know,
group.
Like, yeah. So that's what kind of like helped out. But yeah, that like knowing, like with me, like I just kind of just, it was just more of like at the time, it was just this weird, like fire and hunger, like of just like, you know, like wanting it, you know what I mean? And that's what kind of like, you know, makes you do crazy things, just, you know what I mean? Like when you want something, you know, you just got, and you got to have it, right? Like,
where do you think that came from? Who, like anyone in your family? Do you think that came from someone in your family, or like where did that ability to kind of come from for you?
I don't know, but I guess maybe I guess it kind of in a way also is like I had to prove to people that like I wanted this, like I wanted to, you know, be this and stuff. And I think it's because I think a lot of my family didn't really like, you know, like they supported me, but they're just kind of like, oh, you know, like, you know, you'd be doing a lot better, you know, if you.
There's that hesitance. This, you know? Why aren't you in nursing?
Exactly. I'm like, why
aren't you doing this? Why aren't you? You need money.
Yeah.
You need to make money. You need to.
And I still will get that, like get that from family, you know, like, what? Are you still doing that? You know, like, like,
are you still doing that?
Yeah, this is my career, you know. Like,
yeah, like, right. I've been doing it. Yeah,
it is, you know, like I know it's that's something that I'm now kind of like, you know, like and still dealing with, and it's, you know, but that will always happen, you know, because it's kind of like, you know, that's really mostly them. That's their, like I think of it as it's their insecurities sort of projecting
on me,
onto
you, right?
Yeah,
but so I find that's very common. Is that very common for like Filipino culture, Filipino family kind of dynamic? Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, gosh,
I think
because well, it has to do with like security. They're more. I see where they're coming from, because I think it's like has to do with mostly like job security, and like, oh, you know, like, you know, they want you to raise a family, and like, you know, you want to go to the path of like, you know, what are you gonna do when you have kids and stuff, but like for me and my girl Amanda, like we don't want kids, like, you know, we're really, you know, we're trying to focus on ourselves right now. Like I'm still trying to figure out,
you're enjoying your life as it is now.
I'm enjoying my life as it is now. Yeah. You know, I mean, and, you know, and there's all these other reasons too. Like, I don't like why we don't want to have kids, you know, with the whole like overpopulation of the way, you know, and you know, like, it's just,
you have your own reasons.
A lot, you know, like,
we have you don't have kids,
so,
no problem.
That's no problem. But yeah, but it's like, it's kind of like that. Like, it's that very like kind of conservative, like just kind of thinking of like, you know, like, what are you gonna do, you know, with retirement, and, you know, and like all these, you know, like, so they just get worried. That's what I feel like what it is. They get worried, like, you know, like, what are you gonna do after? Because they see this as like they see this as like you only have a certain limited amount of time. But I'm like, for me, I think of it as like, I really don't, you know what I mean? Like, I can expand this, like I can move on, because dancing, yeah, of course, dancing, performing will be, you know, I only have a certain amount of limited time, but like, it's weird. Like I'm getting better and better as I get older. So, because it's just the more knowledge experience. So, and then I could take that too. And like, I'm, like, there's other routes I can take too. Like I can be, choreographer, director, or like,
director.
I can get into like, there's other paths. Like there's things that I like love.
Which I think, Matt, and I tell you this all the time.
Like, yeah,
you would be good.
Or like,
you'd be a good director, dude. You'd be a good, like, I think about like, all the different things coming into Vegas. If there's a basketball team or a hockey team or whatever, like anything that would have a group, I think you're a good choreographer, and I think you're a good director. And I think you can easily transition to those. And if I can just hype you up in that manner, like you can do it, man. It's like, I don't know if you ever have doubts or whatever, but you can fucking do it, man.
Thanks, man. That's what I'm going for. I'm going, like working my way. Like I just this past year, like so, like after like during kind of ish the pandemic, but I don't want to say like December. I got in touch with there's a really well known production. His name is Blair Farrington. He has his own company called Farrington Productions. What's funny was like I've always wanted to work for him, but like we never we crossed paths at gigs, but like we never fully like got to know each other until like recently. And it's weird. He hit me up and he was like, hey, would you be down to do these gigs? And I was working with him. And then he wanted me to help out create this show. And it's an MJ tribute show. And it was like, it's called MJ The Evolution. And he was like, yeah, that, and he needed help with choreography. And I was like, yeah, I'll totally jump in on it. And, because that's like, I needed a creative outlet to just, because I've been all of last year, it was just crazy, and so, and it's weird that like, jumping in, and I jumped in and do this, helped out with, with choreographing. And then now I'm part of this show, and like, I'm like the like line captain, and, being assistant choreographer. It's a trip. I'm like, oh my God. So, and it's cool. Cause like, it's dope because Blair's been around for like a minute. Like he's kind of one of the ones that like kind of set the rates out here. You know what I mean? Like he produced a lot of shows out here in Vegas. So it's kind of cool to like be under his wing and just like, okay, and there's a bunch of people that I'm glad like that I'm like friends with, that I'm just like, oh shoot, like kind of just picking their brains on things. So that, and getting those experiences is, it's like important.
Well, I think that's been something part of, of your genius, tracking your history. By the sounds of it, you've been really good at putting yourself in a position around the right people that are going to help you get to like a next level, the next spot. And there's a lot of wisdom in that, man. Like that's
no, because what is it? Isn't it like you have to like surround yourself with like the right like-minded people, right? So that's what they always say, right? You have to be like, if you want to be a millionaire, you gotta hang out with
put yourself around millionaires.
Put yourself around millionaires. I mean, and be like with me, if I want to be a creative, I need to be around other
those
creatives. I mean, and be around people with that same, because it's like, it's weird. It's something about me with energy. Like I've been talking about this since this past year, because like with the pandemic and everything, like notice how like it's screened, like when we're talking and stuff, like it's awesome. You know what I mean? I would rather this being like in person, because it's weird,
too.
Right? Like live.
Me too.
Yeah, because you can like feel like
there's a lot more that can be done.
There's a lot more into that, and that's why I love the fact that like with live shows coming back, it's a big difference compared to watching it on like a screen. You know what I mean? Like it's
for sure
something. I was just talking about with a few homies and stuff. I'm like, like the screen's amazing and stuff, but it's better fucking feeling
viscerally. You can feel it,
like just and that's what it is. Like being around these other creatives, it's like they give that spark, that
tapping into that energy.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and you're like, once you're vibing with someone, you're like, oh yeah, and then you just come up with some shit, and it's but it's just a matter. And then the biggest thing is just keeping that momentum and keeping that fire going is what it is.
So that brings up two questions that I have.
Yes.
One, how have you kept the momentum going?
Oh, shit, I gotta go. Yeah. What's up?
Okay, I'll try to make it quick.
Oh no, you're good.
I'll ask another question. Yeah. We're getting kind of technical here. Working with Blair, you said his name was?
Blair Farrington, yeah. He's
on a technical side. Well, on a technical side, what have you like? Okay, I'm leveling up now. I'm working with him, under him. I'm getting a lot of skills. Where have you felt your biggest level of improvement most recently? in a very technical, specific sense. Like, hey, I've been working on this. I got this down. This is cool to see in myself getting better at. And it doesn't have to be like dance move or dance body wise. It could be directing. It could be anything.
That's a great question. Jeez. I mean, getting better at right now, I think I want to say, sort of like, I guess with like giving out direction, I guess has been kind of like, I've been kind of like improving a bit on that. Like communication, I think has been like a little bit like that's been a lot better, because I've been have like a bad like habit of like, I mean my communication skills are like okay, but it's like not like great. So I mean it's helping with that. Like scheduling, you know what I mean, like having to organize, you know, all that.
So taking on these positions of say more like, responsibility has then put that pressure on you to be like, okay, I gotta be blah, 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 kind of thing.
Yeah. So
that's good.
It's
like when you're in the studio,
like taking in more.
I know it's kind of funny when you're driving. It's okay. It's not. You don't gotta worry about looking
I know.
At
sorry,
the screen
man. I know.
No. It's
I was looking at my
time.
I was like, oh crap. So I'm going from this to rehearsal to like a voice lesson. So like, yeah. See, there you go. Up in my game now.
Oh, okay,
see,
that's
like,
cool.
Leveling up. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a lot. Yeah, we'll go right into that.
Impersonation.
Yeah. I wanted to say that because that's the new thing that has started, right? It's what's it called? Karaoke.
Like it's like called Karaoke with the Legends. It's every Wednesday, and I've been jumping in as a Bruno Mars like impersonator, like tribute artist. They don't
so
like
funny because you've been kind of doing that for
kind of
so funny that
these recent, I want to say like 3 years. It started 2018 I think. And shout out to Maria Battaglia of Always Entertaining. She's the one that booked me on my first, you know, like in person, you know, like tribute artist gig. And I was like, and then from then on, like I just you know, it's been a great gig. It's great money, and like I was like, man, I kind of like it. It's a different aspect of the fact that, because with me, I've always been, you know, the backup dancer, or I've been the one creating the dance, but being the front man, like being the actual, you know, person that's like on the mic and like, you know, like
it's you.
Different, you know, it's a different, you know, way of, you know, like thinking. So I've been trying to, you know, like get into that mind state of like, you know, the front man, you know, performer. And,
right, you are good enough to be in this position. Do you think that has a lot to do with it too? Is like, hey, you know what? Oh yeah, I can do this. I can believe in myself a little bit more. Look at me, I'm going.
Exactly. No, big time. And that's like the biggest thing is like I'm super like always confident that like I'm a great dancer. I can pick up choreography like hella fast. You know, it's just though now I'm just working on this, you know, this other skill, which is singing, and just trying to work on that voice and stuff.
That's cool that you got like little, you know, that's amazing, dude. Like these little classes are teaching you to use your voice better. Oh, dude, it's awesome.
Oh my God. And so she's great. Her name is Kim Canitz and stuff. And she's worked with what's so cool is that she's worked with other, you know, tribute artists and impersonators and stuff. So, and you know, and a lot of them are like in Legends in Concert, and, you know, like a lot of them have their own gigs. It's like, it's so fun. I was like, oh, wow. So, and it's weird. It's just kind of like stars are aligned. You know, you meet these people for a reason and stuff. That's a big one to think of too. Like I'm like, you're in my life for a reason. These people that are in your lives, you know, you know, they're in your life for a reason. You know, you never know what it is.
It seems kind of like it's like, I don't know, bad analogy, but like skipping a stone on a pond, right? Like or it's just another platform. Like these steps somehow lead into the next step. That was a weird way of saying it, but it's strange how these stones like connect. And you never you can't say right now like what the next stone is, but somehow what's happening now or what happened even a year ago might connect it to the next thing somehow. And you're like, how the hell?
Yeah. And it's so weird to think about, like, oh my God, how, you know, and it's always good to like look back and like go like, oh my God, you know, whoa, that's how this, like you talking with you right now is like, holy crap, like maybe go like, damn, I can't believe I did all this stuff. You know what I mean? It's sometimes, and this is the weird thing, like as artists, we do got to kind of like remember to like think back and, you know, remember your days of like where you first started at, and then, you know what I mean? Because that helps a lot. I've been getting in a lot into like gratitude and like really kind of like appreciating like, oh, like what are you grateful for? And it's like, oh, and that's, because we're always so like jumping, like as artists, we just
everything's the next hustle, the next grind,
next thing. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man. And so, yeah, it's really starting to be in the now and remember where you came from. That's always,
and be like, hey man, like you've made it this far. You've done all this body of work.
True.
Like,
yeah,
you're a fucking champion,
Yeah, man, you're hyping me up. I was like, oh my God, man. I'm like, dude, like, yeah, and because sometimes, like, dude, this past year, like, I lost a shit ton of like confidence. I started getting like anxiety and like, it's
tough.
weird. Like, I lost confidence. It was crazy how, because like, performing for people was all I do, man. And that's it's weird. Like that's how I feel relevant or something. Like when I'm getting that, oh shoot, that love, that energy back, like, because that's what it is. That's what we live. That's what we live for. Yeah, that's what fuels us, So, but not having that for a year, was just, sad.
So with the COVID stuff coming in and the shutdown happening,
totally
tough for dancers.
How
did you get through it?
It was, I tried to just try to create, and that's what the big thing was. Like there's a comedian. His name's Andrew Schultz. I've been getting into a podcast a lot. That helped a lot.
Dude, I love Andrew Schultz. I know him.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He took it in as like, like the shutdown was actually a good thing because it's like you're technically in like a creative jail. So it's like all about just creating and like just and that's what will keep you like your spark going. It's just coming up with ideas that so that helped out. Like I was able to write a few like concepts that I like I can do that when I now since I got the money now, you're like, okay, I can have these projects and things. So that was the only downside. I was like, oh, I don't have the money to do these, but I got these ideas,
Yeah, right. But you're creating them. You're working with them.
You're working with it, exactly. So, but yeah, that quarantine was like, look at it as like a creative jail. So that's what helped a lot. Creating, teaching. I was able to teach some classes over like, and that was interesting. Teaching classes like online through like Zoom or like Instagram. That was
how was that?
Like, it was kind of cool because like I could kind of be myself, without, because sometimes I do expect kind of like like have energy back from my students, but I was like I kind of am in my own world, so it's kind of like what I do already, just in front of a camera and
right,
millions of people as whoever's like watching like Zoom. So yeah, that was good. That went well. It's just different, like can't compare anything to like I like gotta love the miss the live factor.
The in person. You can work with people, see them. But I'm glad that worked out. That's cool. Yeah. So teaching helped, and then just kind of creating is what helped kind of get through the whole process.
Oh gosh, it did. Yo, seriously. And there was some gigs, but it wasn't until like maybe the end of 2020, like around October was when there was some gigs happening, but it was like, again, it was still a scarcity and everybody was so scared. It's so weird to just feel like the energy now compared to like last year, like especially with everything all open up. It's like, God, it was like as if nothing happened. You know what I mean? Like kind of.
I know it's super strange.
See, it's very strange.
So when it first went down, did it hit you hard? Like, ooh, did you go through a period of time where it was like, shit, what am I gonna do?
No, it was. What's funny was because again, we thought, oh, we're gonna come back within like a month or something. So we were like, okay, cool. Like, oh man, I can rest my body now. Like all of us, like as dancers, we're like, yeah, we can out of because we're all hustling and like working all the time.
Yeah, nonstop.
So and so it was legit just like oh cool, we get to relax, I get to catch up on these like shows I want to watch, like and then you start grabbing doing dabbling on things. My girl got into like back on her art. She loves painting and stuff, and then
oh cool,
I was just like in my podcast and, and then like last year we actually got a house, so that we got a house together, so that was a big project.
Wow, that's a big deal.
And that got us through like that first first few months because we had to move and then like paint the house and everything. So
you had a projects
helped a lot. Yeah, projects helped thing, because otherwise, but and then around summertime, when it started hitting summer, we're like, oh, this is not going to end. Like that was kind of like, it was like, oh, okay, we were kind of seeing like we would see people, but then it was very like, oh, like started getting like a little, like everyone started getting nervous. Like it was like, oh, are
a
these
little
numbers
weird.
gonna come down? Like that was when it started getting like freaky, and like, is this shit's gonna last longer and longer? And it got longer and longer, and then that's when it like started settling in. Like we were like, damn, we're not gonna be working for a minute. And I was stressing out about money because I just got a house, and then like I wasn't able to get like unemployment because I was a independent,
that's
like,
tough,
contractor.
with the dance
but
stuff,
luckily
really
the state did relieve like a lot of independent
cool.
so I was able to get some money, and that helped a lot.
That's a tough that's a tough industry. You guys get like, that's not like other industries. People don't know if you're an industry professional in dance, it's like gig, one at a time gigs. It's tough. It's a tough thing.
Yep. My God. And it's it is it, I mean, so. And then that also it made me question too. I was like, shit, man, like, I'm gonna have to change careers. Remember that whole campaign? They're like, remember that campaign? Like, Trump was like, go look, find another job, you're like, what? Like,
go work at Applebee's again. Like, it's
I was like, what? Like,
right.
It's like people that's been working on stuff like it's like, oh, okay, you just tell people like get us another career. Like, what? Like, it was an interesting time and stuff, I think. But I mean,
would you say you've made it through okay?
Idea in my head, but I made it through okay. Yes, I'm back. We're back now and stuff. It's kind of funny getting back in once everything opened up and shows, like I started doing shows, like it's just getting your body back into a routine is the key, and because when you it feels like when you're like in vacation mode and you go back into work, you're like, oh, you're like sluggish, inside. But literally, it's just coming back in, like having a routine again.
Are you excited though?
Challenging thing, but I'm excited. Oh yeah, very excited. And I was just excited about things just opening like up and just gigs, like gigs, I was like, oh my gosh, just a wave of things just coming through. So that's
that's awesome.
Help, like. So get me excited again. Like that.
So what are all the things you got going on now? I know you have the karaoke with the Legends. That's down in Fremont. That's for people who don't know, that's downtown kind of Vegas. It's not the main strip.
Downtown, Fourth. It's downtown. On like 4th and Fremont Street,
which is super fun to go to.
Indianapolis, California. Yep. It's just
super
me.
Fun
like
you can bar hop around.
Yep. And then singing with a whole bunch of other tribute artists and stuff. So if y'all ever want to come through.
So where is it again? What's it called?
It's on Fremont Street and 4th Street in Fremont. And
4th. It's like
it's a complex called Neonopolis is what it's called.
Neonopolis. Oh, I know. There's a sign outside that says Neonopolis, right?
Yep.
You guys can't miss it. Yep.
See it every Wednesday. It's cool. And then I'm also doing this show called MJ the Evolution, and it's at this theater called Mosaic on the Strip. And it's
on the Strip.
It's every Thursday through Monday. The show's at 8:30. So you can go online on mosaiconthestrip.com and then get tickets. And that's the one that I helped choreograph. It's all MJ and it's dope. It's the evolution of MJ. So there's like we have a little MJ, and then we have like a teenage MJ, and then we have an actual like MJ, tribute artist. His name's Michael Firestone. He's like one of the best ones like around. Cool. He's super dope. He sings live. Like he's a beast, man. So doing that.
That's awesome.
And then I'm also his backup. So I've been doing Michael Jackson as well. So other than Bruno, I've been doing Michael. It's like,
So wait, you've been like headlining that show kind of as like a backup?
Yeah, I came in because he actually had a show, and he needed me to come in for him, and I'm like, fuck. So I had to understudy his role. And like,
oh my God, dude, I would have shit my pants.
Memorize. Well, and it was on short notice. Like I was like, shoot, okay, all right, you got 2 days. So I had to just like listen to his lyrics so I can lip sync him, and then just studying up on MJ moves. But I've been kind of studying up because I did a gig back in March as MJ, and I'll tell you another story about that. But I had PTSD from it because it was like my first time, and I didn't have a tech rehearsal, and I was like, I felt like I was bombing, but I was like, I think I did well. The client liked me, so but. For some reason, like I felt like I was bombing. Like I was like,
dude, I know the feeling, man. Heart, fucking tense chest,
dude.
Like,
and I'm like, dude, I think they fucking hate me. And like, why did they hire you? And it's just,
dude, was your body cold? Was it like this hollow kind of like my body will get cold as fuck when I get that.
It was like it was just a lot. Well, the thing was with that show in March that I did as MJ, that was a 90-minute show.
Like I had to go back, yo. Yeah.
So you went all 90 minutes.
90, like, well, they actually kind of cut it down because they wanted to hear his popular song, which was funny. So they cut it down. So I technically did like maybe 75 to 80 minutes of the show, but
that's a long
still,
time, man.
that's still a lot, right? Yeah.
A long time.
So with this MJ, he's only doing, I think, 35 minutes, maybe 40 of it. Yeah, no, I think it's like 35, 40 minutes. So that set is not bad, but yeah, a lot of it's like freestyling though. It's the freestyling that gets me, because I'm like, I'm trying to freestyle as MJ,
like
but I'm trying to be myself. Yeah,
that's tough. That's tough to like the nuances and the sounds and the voice stuff and the little riffs that he does. Yeah, wow. That's
but yeah,
dude, look at you, man. Fucking, this is some cool shit, man.
It was
got it, dude.
Nuts, bro. I couldn't believe I did it. And yeah, I remember this was literally like a couple Fridays, a couple weeks ago, Friday. And I was like, I got done with the show, and I remember like, I like literally broke down in front of like Blair and his wife. I was like, I can't believe it. They were like, oh, I know, you did so well, because it was like, people was telling me like, good luck. I even right before the show, I felt like I was about to fucking cry. Like, I'm like, okay, dude, I got this. Like, I mean, I kept telling myself like, I got this. I don't know why I'm doing this, but yeah, it's sometimes you'll get that, man. It's those,
That's amazing. Because I think if I put myself in that situation, dude, my pants would be full of shit. We would need 2 janitors to clean that mess up, because like, holy cow.
I don't know.
So super props to you to being able to do that, man.
Yeah, man. I'm so impressed myself, bro. Oh, but yeah, just a lot of, like any, word of advice to anyone, that's going to just like Nike, take that Nike label.
Just do it. Jump out there.
Like, because like, it's all about living in the uncomfortable, right? Like, you gotta go through that shit first, to experience it, because otherwise, you're gonna regret it. Like, you just gotta do it. Just gotta go through it, and then to be honest, like, I thought I was like horrible and everything, but when I looked at it, I was like, oh, okay, I wasn't actually
better than you thought you were.
Bad, better. I did better than I thought I did, and it's just having to just go through that, because like when you start living life comfortably, right, like, isn't it like, it's like, oh no, this starts to become stagnant, and like, like it's kind of better to be in that uncomfortable zone, because it makes it sort of upgrades you, right? Like, isn't it like,
it totally does, like,
right?
The one I like is someone told me this is like, pools of water are still, right?
Yeah.
And that's where like disease happens. Don't drink still water, right? Don't go into still water. Don't go into it. Don't bathe in it or whatever. Like, that's where disease spread. Whereas clean water, it's the flowing river. It's the moving water.
Oh, I like that.
Your body is over 70% water, right? So the
Uh-huh.
more you're moving and you're in this uncomfortable state, if you're still and stagnant, you're actually like still stagnant water. Disease is going to build there.
Disease is going to,
if you're moving water,
Yep.
So that's how I heard that. I love that one.
I love that. That's a great one right there. I like that. And I was like, yes, yep.
So
keep it moving.
Healthy,
keep it moving.
Keep moving like a river, kind of thing.
Yes.
You'll be more healthy.
And you will be, and you will get through it. I mean, that's just, just you'll be fine.
So what other advice do you have for young dancers coming up who want to be in the industry and be a working dancer? Because you're a working dancer and you've been a working dancer for a long time, and it's taken an insane amount of work, a lot of hustle, it's like the ups and downs for your life compared to someone who's working like a corporate job it's not even comparable, because you get a gig and it doesn't last. You got to do it again. It's like you're going up and then you're ground zero. You're up and then you're ground zero. And that takes there's a lot of character building in that. There's a lot of character it takes to be able to do it gracefully, and to be able to do it too in a way where you kind of become better and not bitter about it. And I think you've done that.
Yes.
It's something I highly respect in you. I think you've done that phenomenally. And not only that, I think you go a step above, and you actually try to give back to other people, which makes you, in my eyes, just another level of a person. Like, the character that you exude and you embody and you live through is something I deeply respect. And I would just want you to know that.
Thank you, man. My guy. Thank you. That means a lot, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Yeah, man. I guess like my advice, to dancers, coming up, it's like, biggest one is, like go and take classes, take classes, and don't take classes. I mean, from like popular, I mean, you can, but it's all about like, try to take classes from like older ones that's been in, the scene for a minute. And like, a lot of times, and then like meet up, like I talk to them after, and like ask their, experience, ask their, knowledge and advice and stuff. Another thing too is like, always be on time for gigs, and like show up and do your job. You know what I mean? Like, you're there for, a reason, you know what I mean? And you do the gig. Like a lot of, like they a lot of like people that want to work. This is why like people like to work with me, is because I come in, and I do my gig and stuff. I'll have fun. It's all about having fun too, but you gotta have a certain level of like professionalism. So always be professional. Let's see. Yes. Also networking is very important. Like, putting yourself out there at like, like going to events, going and just showing what you got, I mean? Like, you want to see, show everybody like your gifts that, God has given you, I mean? It's like, like really present that out, don't be afraid, like, to do that, like, I mean? Like,
so like performances, or
like, yeah, like going to events, like, like anything that's like, like community based and stuff, or like, and if there's any events like that, like shows that like, I've been going to recently, like there's these shows that like, they have like live bands, and then whoever wants to come up and sing, like, like go for it, and like try it out, I mean? Like I'm trying to build my confidence up to get, again, like taking vocal lessons and stuff from them. But yeah, like just trying it out, just doing it, I mean? And like going out and really putting yourself out there. Yeah. Content, have a lot of content too. That's also a big one as well. Like, get on that video.
Kind of get like a reel.
Okay. Yeah. Especially nowadays, it's not like how it is back in the day where you got to go to these events. Now you got to definitely have like a reel, and like, have some great content and some great photos, so yeah. Okay. So yeah, dude, I gotta go in, but
hey, like, no worries, dude. Matt, thank you again.
Yo,
where can people find you?
Can we do this again soon? Yeah,
dude, I'd love to do it again.
Yeah, I'm on Instagrams at Matty_G_24, or just look up Matthew Guerrero, and yeah, I'm on Instagram. Then you can find my like YouTube page. Just look up Matthew Guerrero and stuff, and then you see my videos on there. So yeah,
dude, thank you for doing this. Really appreciate it. For sure, man. This is a good talk.
My guy, it was great catching up with you, dude. Let's do this again. Like, I'm down. Like, and
dude, for sure.
Talk about
for sure. I would love to. Yeah, we'll like pick out parts and like specific things to go through. So, all right, man. Dude, thank you. Have a good voice lesson. Have a good night.
Take care, brother. Yes.
All right.
Thank you, man.
See you, man.
Bye.
Have a good one.